everybody. Welcome back to Feedback Loop. I'm Joey,
And I am Jeremy.
and this week we were talking about the Two Bears, their album Be Strong, and that's what we listened to. And hopefully we all had a good time. Hopefully you all had a good time. Hopefully, Jeremy, you had a good time. I don't know.
I did. I did have a good time.
Cool. That doesn't mean you liked it or not. That just means did you have a good time?
I was entertained.
There we go. That's really all that matters. But yeah, so I don't know. I guess I'm just fucking blasting into shit right now.
We need to get back on pace. We've had some pretty long episodes. Why'd you choose this episode specifically, or this album? Not you didn't choose this episode. This episode chose us.
Oh shit!
Why'd you choose this album?
I chose this album. Well, so you picked K-Flay because we were trying to kind of get away from the groove that we'd been in with the indie rock, and then I don't know, man. Like I've just been vibing to like stuff like
It's
this.
the first vibing of the night.
Yeah, there we go. I've just been like listening to stuff in this kind of vein recently.
Okay.
And this album, like before we started this podcast, we kind of put together a big list of music that we wanted to listen to, and I was like, I've been kind of going off list a little bit lately, so I think I'm gonna pick an album on the list, and this one just called out to me because it's.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I've made a grievous mistake.
Uh-oh.
In that I have not pulled up the album art. Okay, I got it.
No, I got it.
Yeah, tell us what's on this album cover, Joey.
Okay, this album cover, it obviously has two bears, and but it's kind of like, it looks like a coat of arms type deal, but it's two bears over like a synthesizer keyboard thing, obviously, because it's an electronic dance house, whatever album. But yeah, there's like a suit of armor in the middle with like a cool baseball cap. It's just a nice sunny looking day. It looks pretty cool. On the left side of the album, it's kind of like a framed around it. The left side of the album says "Love is lovely." The right side says "War is ugly." And there's just little like pictures of bumblebees and ghosts and cricket bats and whatnot. But and at the bottom it has a big picture of a heart that says "Be Strong" because that's the name of the album. It's just nice, I guess.
That's interesting. The album art that I have pulled up on YouTube Music does not have the additional text, I don't think.
What? It doesn't have "Love is Love." It doesn't have love. What?
So it's got the frame, and then it's got like the little like bubbles, the little iris looking eyeball looking things, like lemon shaped kind of things going down the sides.
Oh shit,
and, like,
dude!
A flower, like a synthesizer, and a bee, but like I don't see any text.
Oh shit, dude! We got different album covers here, man. What's happening? What's happening?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. We're gonna just fucking get into it. The first track,
boom,
is
the birds and the bees.
And the bees.
I beat you to it.
Like Joey said very quickly before I could finish saying it. He's that guy.
Yeah. No, I really am. I get in trouble for that a lot. People don't like that.
It's fine. It works. I think it works for our podcast.
I hope you really think that, Jeremy. But
it doesn't matter. The birds and the bees. It's the first track. I really enjoy it. It's got a lot of layering. It's got some like funky guitar kind of coming in. There's like drums layering. There's vocal synth ahs that come in. There's a xylophone or a marimba kind of thing.
Hell yeah.
Some like reversed sample of a horn or a guitar that sounds maybe like it could be a horn kind of a thing. And it just like, I don't know. It's a great introduction track.
Yeah.
To this album. The last minute or so of the album, the music kind of goes away and you hear some distant echoey church bells and some like incoherent super low vocals and then some like grunting noises from what I'm guessing is supposed to be a bear because they're the two bears.
They kind of adopt a persona of two bears. And I don't know, like there's I guess a reason. I looked more into it because bears, I'm just going to go ahead and lay the groundwork. Bear is like, I guess in the gay community, I don't know if it's specifically whenever it comes to like clubbing or whatnot, but it's like a husky, hairy, big burly dude. Kind of like, maybe he's a little bit hefty, kind of like that type of dude. But yeah, it's just big, lovable type dude. And
interesting.
From what I've read, they're like this persona is, because one of the dudes, Joe Goddard, he's the guy that I think does a lot of the vocals. He is in
wait. I'm gonna stop right. You mean to tell me that it's not Damon Albarn?
it's there are some gorillas sounding spots on this album, and the fact that he has a very thick accent,
Yeah.
not all British people are Damon Albarn.
I thought we
Jeremy.
established that they were on the Dark Captain album.
Well,
All
you know
British
what? I
people
was
will
wrong.
sound the same.
Yeah, exactly. And all just like all American people are huge. We'd all be categorized.
Let's not talk about America right now. It's not a great time to be talking about America.
Oh God! But okay. Anyways, back on track. Back on track. We're
Yeah.
trying to keep
Sorry.
pace. We're trying to keep pace.
Sorry.
Joe Goddard. That's where I was. This dude. He's uh he's in the band Hot Chip. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Never heard of it.
Okay, well, they're another kind of dancey electronic band. But I think with the whole Two Bears persona, they're trying to pay homage to kind of the gay club scene type deal where a lot of people go to kind of find themselves, to find community, and I mean, really kind of promote. They end up promoting and loving this type of music, or music that they make and like and inspired them. So just kind of that little community kind of, I guess, propelled this type of music, at least in whatever scene they were in. So they're the Two Bears, kind of to give back, I guess, and
Cool.
make music that promotes positivity.
I think that jives with what I've picked out from this album. So I didn't put it in the context of homosexuality per se, or the LGBTQ plus community kind of thing, but added layers. It's depth.
That's why I had to look it up, because I don't know. I just felt like I'm the one who recommended this album. I should probably know something about it. Like
that's not gonna happen for any of the albums I do unless I have a personal experience. I don't do research. I'm not a researcher.
Yeah, but I don't ever have anything better to do. So
I'm an internet personality, Joey. That's
whoop.
what we are right now.
Oh God, am I?
But,
oh God.
It's okay, Joey. Calm down. Be strong. We'll get through this together.
As long as we give the music all our loving.
All our loving.
That's a lyric in the second track. Be strong.
Boom. Segue number one.
Boom.
In the bag.
And we got a lyric drop in there. Boom, boom. Double
boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Like a different album.
Yeah.
Be strong. is like you said, the second track here. This is where the album really came in. Mm-hmm. So the first track is I mentioned it's a good intro track.
Yeah.
But it's not super representative of the rest of the album, which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I enjoyed it. But this, you kind of you get into it, and man, it's got that. This is a house album for sure.
Yeah.
And it's got that good house drum and the bass line. It's just it's so good. There's a lot of samples again. There's a lot of sampling on this album that I'm a fan of. But it's just it's good. I really like the production on this track.
Yeah, I agree. Like normally, I'm not a club guy or anything. I've never been to a club. I don't like just the thought of me dancing ever. But like this song, like not necessarily even this song in general, but just parts on this album, like they make me feel like maybe I could be that guy out there on the dance floor, forgetting that the rest of the world exists. It's just like sweaty as hell, packed with people, and I'm just like just ready to do it.
Just getting it.
Yeah. But you know,
we need to shoot a video of us going clubbing, Joey.
Oh God, dude. That would I don't know if that would be a good thing or a bad thing.
I would pay to see it.
Well, I wouldn't have to pay to see it because I'd be in it. But
True.
I guess if I wasn't in it, I would pay to see it. Just
you try and tell me you wouldn't be interested in watching me bust a move on a dance floor?
If it was just you, then yes.
Well, we can get shots of each of us, sell them separately.
Okay.
We can charge twice as much for that,
There you go. You know what? I like your business sense, and I'll give that to you. But
we're not a business. But yeah, it's a good housey song on a good housey album.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look up any of the lyrics on this. I told you before we started because I didn't really need to. there's not a whole lot of lyrical content in most of the songs, and where there is lyrical content, it's pretty easy to make out what's being said, unlike some other albums that we've done where it just Helms Ali, you have no
Yeah.
clue what's going on.
Yeah.
But this one, it seemed like he was just kind of promoting you to do you. He talks about like doing and liking the things that you do and want to do and want to like, despite what other people are defining as being cool, and kind of like you mentioned, just finding yourself and kind of being okay with that.
Exactly. And finding yourself and realizing that there's going to be a community that you can go to. There's all as long as you are looking for it, you can usually at least find a couple of other people who share your interests, share what you're into, just you can just generally vibe with, and about how music is a way to kind of create that. It's an equalizer. Like people can come from different like walks of life, I guess is the expression, and if they find a few things that they have in common, maybe they can realize that, I don't know, they can hang out, have a good time, and
Yeah,
just like each other.
because I mean,
Positivity.
music is fucking great. It's great to bond over music. I mean, that's why we have this fucking podcast. That's why you're listening right now. It's because it's fun to share art and your interpretations of art, and that includes music. Maybe even more specifically for music than other art, but I'm
Yeah,
not going to be that guy to say that.
I am, because I think that, like,
I mean, I guess the real issue there is that music is not an issue. I don't know why that is. Music is way more easily accessible, I
yeah,
think, than art, and it's way more widespread.
that's
And
very true.
everyone listens to music. Well,
Yeah,
not everyone. Most people.
most people do listen to music.
Most people listen to music to some degree.
Yeah, and for all you people out there who are listening to the music that we're listening to us talk about the music right now, come in close, because I'll give you a bear hug and let you know that it's all going to be okay, and we're all part of the same community.
Yeah, that's the community that widely respects and talks about track number 3 on this album, which is called Bear Hug.
Boom.
2 in the bag. We're
Two in
we're
the
doing
bag.
it.
Yeah, this song, I mean, there's going to be a lot of kind of similar descriptions with the
For
whole
sure.
house beat.
Yeah,
Like,
it's house music
yeah,
for 90% of this album.
there's parts in here that kind of get a little like Euro dancey to me near the end of it, just with some of the synths in the background. But yeah, most of it's just like drums, bass, and there's like in the bridge, it kind of changes up, and it
Yeah, it's so
reminds
good.
it reminds me of another song that I really like, but I just cannot think of what
I
it
was
is.
thinking the same thing. I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. I was like, man, that sounds familiar, and I really like the change of it because it changes key, it changes like the melody. It's just this little like midsection that's just like, I don't know. It's totally different, and then it reverts back. But
Yeah,
it's a fun little vacation from the track.
yeah, and this one you can kind of hear the difference because there's like the low vocals where
Yeah,
he's like talking like, "Come on, give me a bear hug," like type of stuff like that. And
yeah,
then the bridge where it switches up, it's kind of like a more typical sung vocal, and his voice is just so smooth. Like
yeah. I agree. I
it's
really like
oh,
both of the vocals.
it's just
Are both vocals him, or is it each of the? I'm assuming they're two dudes that made this, and they each sing.
I tried to find that answer and I couldn't.
Okay, well,
I
we're gonna
I
work on the
kind of
assumption that they're two different people singing.
I kind of always assumed it was, but you know, I just really don't know. Like,
Cool. Well, that means I found a good question to ask, and you were supposed to have the answer because you did your research, and you let us down.
hey, I didn't say that I did a ridiculous amount of research. I just did enough research to know a
To have
general.
something to talk about.
Yeah. I didn't expect there to be any questions. I didn't think this was an interview. I thought I already had the job, Jeremy.
Well, we're interviewing the album, okay?
Yeah, I guess that's true. But the album can't answer anything, so that's
But the album answers everything,
that
Joey.
is
That's
that is
all
true.
it does is
Because
answer questions.
the one question that it really answers is, I guess it's not even a question, but it just lets you know that all you need to do is just get in a bear hug and just have a good time, and they're gonna love you, and the music is gonna envelop you.
Yeah, it wasn't super clear to me. It seems to be like about like platonic affection kind of thing,
Yeah,
of just giving someone a bear hug, but they also like say, "Come on, do the bear hug," like it's a dance move, kind of a thing. So I'm not sure if that's an established thing that we just don't know about, or that I just don't know about. I'm not going to assume that you don't know,
yeah, I
but
don't know. I don't know actually.
cool, good assumption. But yeah, so it seemed like they were referring to themselves as bears and wanting to have a good time without like the pressure of like dating or finding a sexual interaction kind of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this is like, I mean, can be interpreted as club music, I guess. And it's just like if you're at a club dancing, like maybe you want to take somebody home, but while you're at the club, you probably just want to be able to freely dance with people and not like worry about any of that. You just want to have a good time, just out there doing your thing, other people doing their thing, and you're all hanging out together, whatever.
Yeah, you're all
I
just
don't know, man.
out there doing work.
I don't actually know what happens at clubs. Like,
Yeah,
is
they
that
do
evident?
drugs in the movies, and there are VIP sections, and there are bouncers, and there are flashing lights. That's all I know.
Once the world isn't just a fucking awful place again, I mean, maybe I'll go out to a club
Yeah,
and
we'll go clubbing. We'll record it, and we'll put it on the internet for sale. We'll each have a GoPro, right? And we're gonna record our own experiences at the club. We'll
mine is
upload them separately, charge them separately.
mine is gonna be me like trying to socially interact for about 5 or 6 minutes and then being like, oh my god, I can't do this, and I'm just gonna go get drunk in a corner somewhere.
But you'll have to do it because it's gonna be work.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. If it's work, then I really can't stop because I need to work to realize my dreams.
Yeah, which it relates to track number 4 called work.
Did-
uh, getting it done. This one has some like very jumpy sounding keys
mhm.
that remind me. I don't know if you've heard. I'm assuming you have. There's a song called Bulletproof
Oh yeah, by
by
LaRue.
yeah, by LaRue.
Oh my god, I love that song.
And it gave, so do I, man. But that it kind of gave me that vibe, a little bit of just
Yeah.
having those jumpy, dancey keys. It's got another classic house beat going on. I really like the
Mhm.
synth melody that comes in during like the midsection or the breakdown of the song,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
definitely.
there's a female vocalist that they use. I'm assuming that, or they just sampled the same lady over and over again. Throughout this whole album, there are snippets of female vocals being sampled, and I really enjoy her voice.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it is because I couldn't find her credited on here, but I do know in a later song that the female vocalist is credited as Alice Gold. So I don't know if it's the same, if she's the same person on this track,
Right.
but I'm not gonna definitively say anything. But props
No,
to Alice
the
Gold.
people are looking to us for answers, Joey. We have to give them confident, strong, definitive answers.
The
What is
only
the truth?
the only confidence I can give you if you're looking to me for answers is stop. And you're in the wrong. You're looking in the wrong place. But
Yeah, well,
if you want to have music recommendations, you can listen to me at your own discretion.
at your own discretion.
But yeah,
We make everyone sign a waiver before listening to our podcast.
yes, exactly. That way we can't be held accountable if somebody doesn't like our music or not our music, somebody else's music.
Yeah, our music choices,
Yeah,
our
there we go.
curation.
Yeah, we got
But
there.
yeah, so work is like it seems like pretty simple lyric based song, not lyric based song. That was weird. I don't know why I said that. Fucked up. The lyrics in the song are pretty simple. It seems like they're just talking about working on a relationship. You know, you got to put in the work, otherwise it's not going to work.
See, I saw it more as like they're working on their career and they're trying to reach the top of their goals. But,
Why not both?
it could be both. And it probably is both, because working on something to achieve a desired outcome is actually a pretty common theme in almost every aspect of
Aspect
life.
of life, yeah.
So, you know what? I guess I can't say you're wrong as much as I want to.
Well, if you did, you'd just be taking the warm and easy way out.
Yeah, and if I got to prove you wrong, then I would be really feeling warm and easy, I guess. Yep, that maybe that worked halfway. I don't
Track number 5, warm and easy. This one, like the drums aren't as like typical housey. They
know.
got kind of like a big beat behind it,
Yeah.
which it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool change. I really like the synth used for the melody. It's kind of the case on a lot of these tracks. They have very good melodies. This one's kind of summery,
Yeah.
in both lyrical content and music. And at some points, the guy, what did you say the guy's name is?
The guy who I know does vocals is Joe Goddard.
Joe Goddard. Okay. At some points, his vocals sound a little bit more like Rob Swire than Damon Albarn to me. Rob Swire being the one half of Pendulum and Knife Party, and he's been featured on some Dead Mouse songs, I think, for vocals. But yeah, it kind of gives me that vibe. This dude's voice. I mean, maybe that's just me being an asshole and saying that they all sound the same. But like, there's just like specific nuances that are giving me vibes of Damon in certain points and Rob
Mhm.
Swire at some points.
I mean, okay, so there's definitely parts. I think I get more of a Gorillaz vibe instead of a strictly Damon Albarn vibe
Yeah,
because there's a lot of like you can tell these guys take inspiration from like reggae or like reggaeton, like the
yeah,
kind of dancey. I don't know. Is dance hall? Is that
yeah,
like an electronic like because I know what dance hall is, but does that get incorporated into electronic music? I don't know.
yeah. It
Whatever
does.
kind of whatever that is. Like I feel like they take pretty heavy inspiration from it on a few songs. Like this one on the Birds and the Bees, there's a little bit with like the horns and kind of the beat,
Hmm.
and some of the. I think it's actually in the song after this one. The beat kind of flips at a certain point, and it kind of gets into like a more dancey, like reggae, almost salsa in a way
Yeah,
beat. But some of their beats just like kind of remind me of that, and I know there's a lot of that in at least in earlier Gorillaz stuff that I always really liked,
for
where
sure.
it was like a reggae type vibe, beachy summer island vibe.
Yeah, when I was putting my notes together, I was tempted because I did call him out as like Damon Albarn pretty early in the thing, but I was thinking like maybe I should say he sounds more like 2D specifically because
Okay, yeah,
it does have a lot of that like Gorillaz vibe in the music and just the way he sings and some of those like little nuances that kind of call it out to me. But
yeah,
yeah, the song "Warm and Easy" it's pretty summery. It's pretty poppy lyrically. It just seems about kind of like finding love and enjoying yourself for through the summer, which is kind of a recurring theme on this album.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's just a nice feel too. I don't listen to many songs that kind of have this feel to it or this like lyrical content like
Yeah, this
just
is
I
the
guess
opposite of Sad
happy
Boy.
positive songs. Yeah, like I don't listen to a lot of this, but it's nice. It's
It's
nice to
refreshing
hear. And
sometimes.
yeah, and whenever I get into this kind of musical space, it's nice to just stop and take a look around and kind of see where it takes me.
Yeah, and you got to take in the environments. Just take a
Yeah.
nice look around
Yeah, just take a look all around and then
all
before
of
I
the
know it I'm at
tracks.
track number yeah, I'm at track number 6 and it's called Take a Look Around.
We're doing good. We're 6 tracks in. We only got what 6 more to go. We're killing it.
I think so. I don't. Yeah, I guess there are 12 tracks on this album. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so
it's real. No, no, you go. It's
we're not
fine.
doing this again, Joey. Go for it.
But this one, okay. So this song it gets a little spacier than the songs before. At least I feel it. But I mean, the hard drums kind of come back, but they're just going to be on every track pretty much, other than the beachy ones. But like synthesizer wise and music wise, I feel kind of a spacier, kind of easier vibe on this song.
Sure.
But this one it has more of the singing guy, not the low pitched vocals, kind of the actually sung vocals,
Yeah.
and it has that female vocalist in it as well, and it seems more like a dancier song rather than a lose yourself in the music song, to me at least.
Yeah, for sure. And it has some like cool. There's some like bongos in it, and there's some like strings samples and stuff that I really like the use of samples on this album, and I know that's a thing in a lot of electronic music, but it's just I don't know, it's fun.
Yeah. And man, whatever, because the way that the vocal structure kind of goes, it goes, the dude is singing, and then kind of him and the female vocalist kind of sing together, and then she has a more a more lead vocally part.
Right.
I don't know. I guess that's the bridge. Whatever's going on in the bridge, I like it a lot, and I want it to stay here.
Yeah.
But then it goes back to the take a look around, whoa, like that part,
Yeah.
and it's just I don't know. Something about it seems very old but new. Like I'd be
I get
listening
that
to it
feel with a
and
lot of like house music like this.
yeah, like it's. I don't know if it's disco-y because I wasn't alive back then. I don't know what disco sounds like,
Yeah,
but
dude,
it makes
don't
me think
lie.
of it.
Dude, sidebar here that's not super related. If you haven't, I've been talking about Rob Swire, who is part of Knife Party and Pendulum. If you haven't listened to Knife Party's song Superstar, go check that out after this.
Well, I'm gonna then, and
Because, oh boy, it's
maybe
good.
yeah, maybe I'll like it even more than this. Is it disco related or is it just
It
completely
is.
not
It
related to
is.
what we're talking
We're not
about?
going
Okay,
to talk about it, but it's
okay,
fun. But yeah, so
okay.
lyrically on this one, it seems to be fairly simple. Again, another track about just kind of dancing to some good music, cutting loose, having a good time.
Yeah, realizing that you're in a place where you can cut loose
Yeah,
and you you're not surrounded by a bunch of creepy ghosts and zombies
some
just
spooky, scary skull. It
hating.
is October though.
It is. It is. It
We're getting to
totally is
spooky
October.
time,
Yeah. Dare
which
I say
makes
Spooktober?
you dare say, which makes track 7
Yeah.
all the more fitting because it's
Ghosts
called
and Zombies.
Ghosts and Zombies. Joey segued that one. We didn't drop it. We're still
Yeah.
going. This one has a
Yeah. No,
pretty
it kind of
like.
worked. It kind of worked.
Did it though?
No, it didn't. It didn't.
Yeah, so this one has like a pretty minimal beat compared to a lot of the other tracks on this album. That's not to say that it is a minimal beat, but there's a lot less happening, at least in the beginning of this track. And then the melody that comes in just before the minute mark in this track is pretty good.
Mhm.
It's got a lot of more xylophone stuff going on, which I'm always down for. The lower vocals come in at some point, and there's some like weird sampling noises and stuff that they use, which are just fantastic. And then
Yeah.
towards the end of the track, the vocals get more and more modulated, which I thought was fun.
Yeah, the sampling kind of goes. They get pretty heavy with the sampling in this song, and it kind of ends up with like a mismatch of styles. I feel
Yeah.
like there's one of the samples they use. I feel like it is kind of like a record scratcher, like a
Mm-hmm.
tape type thing that I heard in like a Tony Hawk game or something.
Bringing it back to that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about me and Tony Hawk, but maybe it's because they just released the remastered version. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I have it on the brain, and that's kind of what got me. But what the harmony, whenever they're singing "Ghosts and Zombies," that's what does this song for me. Like
Yeah, I agree.
it's just really nice. It's very cool, and I like it, and it gets stuck in my head like
Yeah.
all the time.
It is very catchy, and it sounds cool. Like you said,
Yeah.
it feels good to listen to.
Yeah, and it just it spends a whole lot of time in my mind. It does a lot of time in mind.
It does. I have a lot of time in mind as well for
Yeah.
track number 8, which is Time in Mind.
Boom. There we go.
This track is kind of a standout track to me.
Stand out in a good way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to say it's necessarily good or in a good or bad way,
Okay.
but it sounds completely different from all the other tracks. There's like a weird vocal sample of what sounds like a woman crying out in the
Yep.
back under this kind of like salsa beat kind of thing going on. And then an acoustic guitar comes in under the vocals, and it sounds kind of like a not house track,
Yep.
like not electronic. really, even though there is some of that sampling. But I don't know, it's nice. And then there's like a steel guitar that comes in to fill some space after like the second verse or during the second verse, and then it ends kind of similarly to the first track on the album, where you can kind of hear some distant churchy bells, and then there's some like conversation happening that you can't really understand, and it fades right into the next track.
Yeah, this
Or
song,
blends, not really fades.
yeah, this song is actually the first Two Bears song I ever heard.
Oh.
And it was kind of nuts because I heard it and then listened to the rest of this album and I was like, wait, what? What? But it doesn't all sound like this?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's interesting.
not to say that like house music doesn't sound like music, but this is like a more typical structured song, I guess,
Right.
in the sense that like I feel like I'd hear this song on the radio or something.
Definitely. It has a more like traditional sound to it, I guess.
Yeah, there's not like a lot of repetition in the beat. There's not a lot of. It doesn't sound super electronic EDM
Right.
whatever. But
It's not something you would hear in a club, at the very least.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, if you did, I'd go to that club. Maybe I'd go to that club if I heard this song. It's not necessarily
Maybe.
it's not necessarily my favorite on the album, but it's always gonna be the first song that I heard by them, so I'll always like it.
That's true. Maybe we can open up a club that does not play traditional club music.
I think we'd just go out of business.
I mean, maybe, but there's only one way to find out. Let's spend the time and money to invest in it and hope that it doesn't fail.
Yep.
Like we're investing our time in this podcast.
There's only one way to find out, and it's throw all of our money at it.
Exactly.
So let's do that.
No risk at all. Yeah, back to the song. Time in mind, the lyrics, I'm not really sure if there's like a through line going on here in this album or not, but it sounded like from what I gathered anyway, is that he had a habit of cheating on women or cheating on people, and he doesn't necessarily regret it, but now he's just kind of like, he has some shit to think about, and he's kind of like maybe trying to piece it together and try to like learn from it perhaps. But again, he doesn't really like sound like he's upset about it. He doesn't sound like he regrets it. But
yeah, there's like two sides to this song in my mind where it's like I can understand the mental prison that it's like he's doing time in his mind. So it's like, oh, he's in a mental prison thinking about whatever, like it's a bad thing, like he's thinking about the bad things that he's done and he's feeling bad and whatever. But then the way that it's sung kind of comes off as like where he's
happy.
one specific line is like a girl that I guess he had cheated on or whatever is saying like, I wish I could take you to a court, like I wish they had a court for love so I could try you for your crimes. And he's like, there's not one, but trust me, I feel really bad about it. So it's kind of just like I get what the subject matter of the song is, like if feeling bad for what you've done is, I mean, it is a bad thing, but it's like the way that he sings it kind of comes off as like, well, not much you can do about it, but just know that I just know that I feel pretty bad about it, so that's good enough.
Maybe he needs to go to church and find a way to increase his faith.
Yeah, he probably does. I totally got thrown off by your segue. It's like,
I should have tied it something into like him. I should have tied it in more to like him being not faithful. Like he's cheating,
he definitely
cheating on people. And
maybe so he needs to increase his faith.
He would increase his faith. Track number 9 is increase your faith.
That's a double segue, and you guys don't even know it yet.
Yeah, I didn't realize it at the time until you said that you got thrown off.
This one feels like a standout as well, in the sense that it's more laid back throughout the whole song. It sounds like something I'd listen to now, because I listen to a lot of like vapor wavy kind of
it's kind of ambient.
Yeah, like ambient type stuff, and that's what it sounds like. And it's like you're lifting off, and then it hits a point, like a breaking point, where kind of everything kind of drops out, and it's just like you're floating, and then the build up starts again.
Yeah, there's a lot, like I said, it fades, or not fades, it blends from the last track. So the start of this track is you can kind of hear like a muddled conversations coming in. It's like you're standing on a busy street, perhaps, and there's a guy that you hear shouting, or not shouting, but he's like talking about how there aren't pills for faith.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of like we're not a protester, but someone that's standing on a
Just
corner
like
trying to be heard.
Yeah, he's like whatever they're called, like people who are like preaching on the side of the road, but he's not a
Yeah.
preacher. He's just like, they got pills to increase your confidence.
Yeah.
They don't have a pill to increase your faith. And I've looked for that sample. Sorry for my terrible British accent, but I just
No, you sounded exactly like a British person.
I just almost did an intentionally bad one, and I feel like that's just too shitty of me to do. So I'm not going to do it.
There are no rules
But
here.
but like this, I've looked for this sample everywhere, and I mean, I'm sure it's just like there's a dude out there, or they just paid somebody to do it. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just entirely invented. But I was like, I have to know where this is from, but I can't find it at all. But I like it. It reminds.
It wouldn't surprise me if they were just like out on a street and recorded it, because like I said at the beginning of the track, it kind of has that feel like they're just outside recording, and you hear like church bells in the distance, and here in this song, like it sounds like they're on a busy street somewhere. Yeah. And in a later track,
I guess that makes sense given
some more.
Yeah. You were already there. You beat me to it. You knew what I was thinking of, the same thing you were thinking of.
I knew in my heart of hearts that it needed to be said.
Yeah. And you're in the heart of the Congos.
Yeah.
Is that your heart?
Don't act like it wasn't impressive. I just hadn't figured out a way to finish the segue. I had the setup. It's fine. Track number 10, Heart of the Congos.
There you go.
You said that one of the earlier tracks was a bit more spacey. This one for sure has a bit spacier feel to it. It kind of has these like sci-fi sound effects coming in at the beginning. It's got a regular kind of house beat. I really like the bass tone they get in the song. It has a nice groove feel to it. It's got some more horn samples, some more modulated vocals. Pretty standard stuff, I guess, for this album at this point.
Yeah, and this one, I mean, lyric wise and music wise, I guess what I gather from it is kind of talking about their roots and inspiration from kind of the dub or like reggae type scene. Like lyrically, he's talking about getting a tape from some dude who like was in past raves. Like he's old and out of the scene now, but he gave him a tape of like, this is the real shit, man. And they listened to it, and it kind of inspired them. But I don't know, like the way that the song's formed, there's a lot of like horns, and like you said, that bass tone's really cool. They got some cool keys and like guitars in there that I hear, because there was a very long period of my life where I listened to a lot of like reggae and stuff, and I heard some similarities with like the sounds and whatnot that they have going on in here, and it's really nice. Like, it's a 5-minute song, but to me it feels like it could go on for another 5 minutes, and I'd enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. It has this like, I don't know, this vibe to it. You know, we haven't said vibe a lot, but it's definitely a vibey song. I think and lyrically, it kind of like, not completely different from what you were saying, but it seemed like he was kind of telling his tale of falling in love with that sound. And kind of almost in like a dreamy, like, I've known since I was a kid that this was my calling, kind of a thing. But I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. And after he finds his calling, he can find the other bear, and they'll just get together and make some good music.
Make some good music, yeah, for sure. And I think maybe, I don't know if it's a starting point for making music together, but maybe by, I don't know, track 11. They can make something good, because track 11 is called Get Together.
Boom. Little fun fact, apparently the two dudes who are in this the two bears, they were originally supposed to be the three bears, and then like another guy who was supposed to be the third bear just couldn't do it, so they were like, fuck, we're the two bears now.
Were they going to call themselves the three bears?
They were going to call themselves the three bears, and then they were just like, I guess we're the two bears now.
Sounds like that guy couldn't get it together.
really he could not. He couldn't get together with them, and they were like, "You missed your chance, bro, dude,
dude, bro, bear, guy."
you bear, you missed your chance, bear."
We're gonna start calling each other bear instead of bro.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
But
so this one,
yeah.
another kind of typical housey music. It's got a solid beat. It's got a nice bass melody, some more vocal samples. I really like the samples in the middle of the song.
Oh yeah, what like the vocal samples, like the guy
Yeah.
who's like the bad man sound. Kind of, I can't do that
Yeah,
accent, but like
right. I want to hear you record it saying this in
you
our
want to hear
podcast.
recorded having like a Jamaican British. The
Yeah.
only thing I can do is like if you say beer can in a British accent, it sounds like you're saying bacon in a Jamaican. A bacon, bacon.
Oh, you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for making Joey do that. But yeah, in a very
Yep.
like kind of reggae inspired way, I think the lyrics are kind of like this one love feeling, right? It's
Mhm.
the song's about unity and coming together as a society or as a group of people instead of being isolated and being hateful and being angry, just kind of accepting everything and everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's just I don't. They talk about putting like looking at life as a child would in the song. Like I think that's like word for word one of the lyrics, and it's just it. You can tell that they're really just trying to get people to get some innocence back before everybody becomes jaded and shitty, and then be like, hey, why can't we just all hang out and be friends and have a good time? And I mean, I know the world doesn't actually work like that, but
It
it
does
should.
if you're listening to reggae music.
Yeah, exactly. And little side note in there, that little I don't know why I latch on to little tiny like half second clips of music and just live for them. But the little sample that's like, oh, oh, like whatever
Yeah.
that, like I don't know what that is. It sounds like some sort of weird chorus effect or something on like a voice.
Yeah, it
But I
reminds
could
me of
listen.
like I had a Casio keyboard. I think it was Casio. Maybe it was Yamaha.
Yeah,
I had some keyboard where you could pick instruments to like imitate, and there were like vocal oohs and vocal ahs and stuff that you could have for your keys, and that's kind of what that reminds me of.
that's exactly what it reminds me of. Like messing around with like a $80 keyboard when I was like
Yeah,
6. But yeah,
hell yeah.
that's the life, man. You got to find those sounds, work them in, and I could just listen to a whole song of that if somebody put a beat to it.
Yeah, I think
You know?
maybe we could go somewhere and record like a full choir singing. Maybe we could go to a church and we could use those samples and make a song
Dude, I
that you
bet
would enjoy.
we could pack a church, make a whole religion based on
Yeah,
and that's
let's do it.
just like track.
Let's build a church.
Yeah, and then maybe we'll come up with something that sounds almost as good as track number 12, Church. And
Nah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
it really won't because spoiler alert, this is my favorite song on
I
the
can see that.
at least maybe I can't necessarily say it's my favorite song, but I like it so much as a closing track, and I
Yes,
just really, really like this song that it's probably. I guess it kind of by default has to be my favorite because it's the one that like it's the huge payoff at the end.
right. It's this song is pretty much everything that you described at the beginning of the album, where it's kind of like this. It has a lot of culture to it,
Yeah,
and it sounds like it starts with what sounds like an interview or something with a guy, like a Jamaican guy,
yeah,
and the singer is talking to him, and the guy's talking about like the unity of nature and stuff
mm,
like that. There's some very like mellow, spacey music that kind of builds over the course of the song, and scattered throughout it has samples of that guy talking. It has
yeah,
steel drums in it, and there's some more xylophones, and it kind of like I'm just gonna go in and get a little bit into the lyrical content here as well, where like the
mm,
song sounds like he's expressing his love for maybe a lady, but in the context of this album, it makes more sense to be more of like a general love everybody kind of thing.
yeah,
And there's a part in it where they're just singing hey now," and it kind of evokes like this African tribal song thing. So
yeah.
you got the steel drums and the Jamaican kind of aspect of it, but you have the xylophones and this kind of tribal chanting thing, and it just kind of like it kind of has this cultural feel where it's just like about loving everyone no matter what your background is or your culture. And then obviously it has his kind of touch with music, with the beats and the synths and stuff to kind of ground it for him.
Yeah, it's really like everything you said is perfect. Like just that dude at the beginning who they have like the interview with, I guess, was just a dude they found or were talking to or whatever. But he like the way he's talking, and I think he refers to like people as like all the animals out, like little animals or something, and they I think he's saying it as like an equalizer, because what one of the dudes who's talking to him says, like, so do you mean like we're not British, we're all part of the same thing? And then he like confirms it. He's like, yeah, like talking about like we're all people, we're all the same
Right.
animal. And then like you said, with the way that it ends, like hey now, let's get up together, kind of chanted over kind of these almost like tribal, like steel, they're like steel drums, the beat going on, like everything in the back. It's just great given the whole theme of this album of unity, togetherness. Everybody should like drop the barriers between us and realize that we're all one people here.
One
So that's
love.
yeah, one love. And but man, just the sounds that they have going on in the background that make up like the melodies, and there's like a kind of a scratchy synth that plays the melody,
Mm-hmm.
uh, other than like because they have like the marimbas, the steel drums, they have some keys going on in the back, but there's like some synth that just gets trapped in my mind, and there's so many times where I wish that I could like vocalize what a synthesizer like, because saying a synth is like
Yeah,
okay,
it could be
what
anything.
like I don't know what that means, but like just listen to it. All you people out there, just listen to it, and you might see what I mean, or you might think like, "What the fuck is this dude talking about?" I don't know, but
I'm 12 and what's a synthesizer?
but his voice is just so smooth too, like the whole time. Just
Mm-hmm.
the way that he's singing is just great, and it just makes me feel good. Like it makes me feel like everything is going to be okay, even though I know in my heart of hearts it's not. But it
Not in
makes me
the
feel
heart
like
of the
it.
Congos.
The heart of my Congos. I know it's not going to be okay, but for a second, for like the 6 minutes that this track is going on, it feels like it might be.
Yeah, I guess the 6 minutes is a kind of a key point where like there are some longer songs on this album that are like 5 minutes, but this is easily the longest one.
Yeah,
And kind of like what you said on the Heart of the Congos, where like it's a 6 minute song, but I feel like it could easily be a 12-minute song and still work.
yeah. I feel like that is the beauty of like house music, of dance music, of electronic music,
Yeah.
is because there's not necessarily in this song, but in most of the other songs, it's built on repetition. So
Yep.
like it hooks you in. It's built to be a loop, and they build on it and build on it, and there's so many different ways they can build on it. You could just listen to the same thing with little variations for 30 minutes, and it's going to keep you entertained because it's built that way. And that's
Yeah.
just what's so great about it. You can kind of just get lost in it. And I feel like this is going beyond this album, but I feel like that's what makes so many different types of people like this type of music, is
Right.
because it kind of cuts through all the bullshit. Like there's no deep lyrical content that's like it can divide you. Like you can listen to a rap album that's super politically charged either
Mm-hmm.
way, or like a rock album that's super politically charged against the rap album or
Yep.
whatever. Like, and then you're only going to get certain people that like it because they're like, I don't agree with that. I don't agree. How can you think that? But then whenever you listen to this, it's like, we'll just chill to it. We'll just dance. We'll all have a good time with this music kind of as the background, the living background to what we're experiencing right now, and all sharing in this kind of space. And it's just, I don't know, it creates a great environment for people to have a good time together, I guess.
I agree completely. I think what you said is just like chef kiss. 10 out of 10. And like you said, I mean, a lot of electronic music is based on this loop. And I think that can be a turnoff for some people initially. Like
Yeah.
for if I was trying to introduce someone into house music, I would not start with Around the World by Daft Punk
Yeah.
because I feel like people would be pissed off and upset that like they just sang around the world fucking 500 times. But like, I don't know. I don't think that's the case here on this album. But I think there are gateways to get people instead of just dropping them straight into the most repetitive thing that you can think of. But like
Definitely.
you said, that's kind of a key of the genre, and I think that's a very valuable thing.
I agree, and I'm glad that this music is so great, and we got to listen to it.
Same. I enjoy this album a lot. I was not expecting a house music album, so the first time I put it on, I was like, "Yeah, this is great. This is just what I needed. This is what the doctor ordered." Because I'm a big fan of like I like really deep house stuff and also shallow deep house stuff. But did I just say shallow deep house stuff?
Maybe,
I don't fucking know what
but
I'm saying.
you know,
I like house music. I like electronic music. I like all music for the most part. I don't know what my point is here, but this album really hit the spot for me.
Well, that is awesome. I'm glad, because I mean, I didn't have anything in mind when I was just like, Jeremy will probably like this album. I'll throw it out there.
Jeremy did like this album.
So what do we listen to next week? Huh?
Next week, we are going to be kind of continuing with the electronic vibe, because now I'm feeling it, and I'm really digging it. So we're going to be listening to Cascade, who is one of my favorite electronic producers. He has a huge discography, and it was kind of painful for me to pick an album to do because they're pretty diverse. But we're going to be going with his 2013 album, Atmosphere, for reasons that I'll maybe explain next week. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But it's kind of riding this house and EDM vibe. Cascade is definitely one of the bigger, poppier acts, I would say, but he has some really good like chill Chicago house roots, and I think Atmosphere is a very good like culmination of his sound, where he has some of it that's a bit poppier, but also a lot of it that's more like mellow and housey. But
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what you think of it. I enjoy it a lot.
With a name like Atmosphere, I can only imagine that I will enjoy it, because while I do quite enjoy like house EDM, like harder kind of beat-driven stuff, just the name Atmosphere is right up my alley. So if it's pretty chill, like I'm always down for that.
Yeah, there's some really, really nice songs on it. A lot of it is still very like lyrical and vocal driven. Not to say that there's a lot of complex lyrics or anything like that, but there's a big emphasis on a lot of his songs with the vocal melodies and stuff, which I'm a fan of. I like vocal melodies. Sue me. I like pop music with strong vocal leads like Tuvalu. So maybe I'll like this. I'm sure I'll like this album more than how you're going to feel about it. But there's also a lot of really cool chill and musical stuff on it.
Well, hell yeah. And don't doubt me. Maybe I'll like it more than you ever could. Who knows?
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, it's probably not possible, but maybe I'll like it a lot. So, hopefully.
Yeah, and but if you guys want to listen
we won't
along,
know until next time.
Yeah, please check out the album this week. We'll be checking out the album this week, and we'll be talking about it next week on our thing. If you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, maybe, you can hit us up on the social medias. We got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. And you can find us around the web. We're on Amazon Podcasts, just to reiterate. That happened last week.
Yep.
So check us out there. I don't know how to view our analytics there, but we'll figure it out.
Maybe somebody will watch us there. Who knows?
Maybe somebody will, and we'll maybe never know. But I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. But yeah, please. I like the suggestion. Please suggest an album, because I keep listening to like the same type of stuff over and over again, because that's what all my music services suggest to me.
Yeah.
So I get in a loop. Somebody just break that loop, please.
Yeah, but don't break the feedback loop.
Yeah, don't break the feedback loop. Stay in our feedback loop. Actually, that's the tag.
That is the tag. Stay in our feedback loop.
Bye.